The bench that waited, there was a bench at the edge of town. It wasn't new or grand or even particularly comfortable. Just a simple wooden seat, flanked by two iron arms, slightly rusted and softened by years of rain, wind, and quiet sunrises. It sat beneath a tall sycamore tree beside a lake, facing still water, waving reeds, and clouds that wandered slowly overhead. Most people walked past it. Some barely noticed it, but those who needed it always found it. Part 1. The girl who didn't speak, Mira, was 10 when she first found the bench. She didn't mean to. She had taken a long way home from school, not because she was lost, but because she didn't want to be found. Her teachers called her quiet. Her classmates called her weird. But truthfully, she simply didn't have the words yet for the thoughts that pressed against her chest like heavy stones. That day, she wandered to the lake and stopped in front of the bench. She stood there for a long while, then sat. She didn't cry, not out loud, but the bench felt the weight in her shoulders, the tremble in her breath. It didn't ask questions. It simply waited with her. She returned the next week. This time, she brought a notebook. She didn't write in it, just held it like a shield. By the third week, she wrote a single sentence. I feel too much. And the bench, as always, said nothing, but held her like a patient friend. Scarf Part 2. The man with the scarf. Every morning at precisely 9, Mr. Talbot arrived. He was older, his steps slow but deliberate, his scarf always wrapped neatly around his neck, no matter the season. He always sat on the left side. Always. In his coat pocket was a photograph, soft at the edges. A woman, smiling beside a piano. His wife, Evelyn. He never spoke, just sat with the photo in his hands, watching the lake shift in the morning light. On some days, he closed his eyes. On others, he whispered a name. But mostly, he sat in silence. The bench never asked why he came. It just made space for memory. One day, a little girl walked by and asked, "Is that your wife?" He nodded, still is, and smiled like someone remembering music only he could hear. Part 3. The dog without a name. It was a rainy afternoon when the little brown dog appeared, soaked, shaking, and wild-eyed. It darted out of the woods, circled the tree, and crawled under the bench. An hour passed. Then a boy on a red bicycle skidded to a stop nearby. He noticed the dog, knelt down, and gently reached out. The dog growled at first, but the boy didn't move. He just said, "It's okay. I don't like storms either." After a few minutes, the dog crept forward, touched his hand with a cold nose, and wagged its tail. Just once. He named her Maple. From that day on, every Sunday they returned. He brought books. She brought patience. While he read, she napped beneath the bench. They never missed a week. Part 4. What the bench held. As the years passed, the bench remained. Season spun around it like soft music. Spring brought new walkers. Summer brought sandals and soft ice cream drips on the armrest. Autumn dressed the tree above in gold and scattered crisp leaves below. Winter dusted the bench in white silence. Children played tag around it. Teens carved initials into it. A bride and groom once took wedding photos beside it. A grandfather taught his grandson how to skip stones right from its side. But no matter who came and went, the bench stayed the same, quiet, present, unmoving, waiting. Luggage Part 5. The return. 10 years later, a young woman stood before the bench. She wore a backpack and held a well-worn notebook in her hands, the kind with bent corners and ink-stained edges. She sat on the right side. It was Mira, now older, now stronger, but not without her questions. She opened the notebook and ran her fingers over the first sentence she had ever written. I feel too much. She smiled. Then she turned the page and read a story aloud. One about a dog named Maple. One about a scarf that outlived its owner. One about a bench that never moved, even when the world around it did. When she finished reading, she closed the book and left it on the bench. Gently, like leaving a gift behind for someone she hadn't met yet, but somehow already knew. Then she stood, whispered, "Thank you," and walked away. The bench, as always, said nothing. But the wind through the sycamore leaves sounded almost like a sigh of gratitude.